Despite our global interconnectedness, our technological advances, and our enlightened talk of social justice, too many people continue to experience chronic food insecurity today. Worse still, the increasing frequency and severity of drought conditions and other major environmental, social, and economic crises compound their suffering and expand their numbers with each new episode and variety of disaster. Can our digital coordination tools and our emerging peer-to-peer models of coordination, innovation, and production turn the tide on such tragedy? The Greens for Good initiative is developing and deploying open-source designs for a versatile array of devices suited to the application by local communities where leafy biomass is available for protein extraction in mitigating food shortage. Extensible food processing platforms simultaneously address a variety of labor-intensive and repetitive food processing activities such as grinding, juice pressing, and oil extraction. To address food insecurity, Greens for Good is growing design and production ecosystems for extracting protein and nutrients from indigenous plants or from byproducts of agricultural processes when and where it is needed. Protein extraction from leafy biomass has been pioneered at village scale in the developing world by Leafs for Life in South America and expanded by APEF in Africa. Traditionally, these village-scale processes adopt a 4-stage batch process. We innovate on this to render a continuous process through the use of an extruder design pattern that can be readily adapted to a wide variety of applications and local conditions. The open-source software movement radically undermined received wisdom about the necessary conditions for creative and industrial productivity. Tired mantras of competition among rational, self-interested actors have given way to an appreciation for the immense productive capacity embodied in our cooperative nature and catalyzed by self-motivation and passionate engagement with meaningful work. For over a decade, Sensorica has drawn on the experience of such practices and adapted them to the unique needs of hardware devices and physical goods. Yochai Benkler named it the social production theory. He said social production of goods and services is ubiquitous, though unnoticed it is, to be fanciful, the dark matter of our economic production universe. Commons-based peer production is typified by two core characteristics. First is decentralization. The authority to act resides with individual agents rather than in the hands of a central organizer like the manager of a firm or a bureaucrat. Second is using social cues and motivations rather than prices or commands to motivate and coordinate the action of participating agents. Tools to support these ways of working have evolved from social networks implemented on top of Web 2.0 to social networks plus transactional and open governance capabilities built on top of Web 3. Greens for Good applies this commons-based peer production approach so that hardware designs are only one element in a much broader mandate to foster a wide array of ecosystem services that address the dissemination of designs and know-how, the fabrication, productive application, and repair and maintenance of leaf protein extraction equipment, as well as ongoing identification and integration of supporting supply chains. In conjunction with this, we aim to weave sustainable social networks and develop collaborative entrepreneurship programs, as well as guidance for building sustainable protein production operations locally. Being rooted in the work of Eleanor Ostrom, Common Stack's approach is already well aligned with many open value network principles, but there also remain many process and technology gaps and untapped opportunities within both the Sensorica and the Common Stack communities and networks. We're applying to the Common Stack Prize because DAOs are becoming powerful tools for common-based peer production, and we believe that the kind of cross-pollination between these newer Web3 approaches and our early experiences in the Open Value Network will accelerate progress and impact for Greens for Good.
Why we do things the way we do? Is it just because we like to do it like that, or just because we woke up in the morning and had a dream about this? First, you can start with the costs and the transaction cost theory, why the firm exists. When the environment changes and the transaction costs go down and the cost of discovery, learning, the decision-making, bargaining, they lower, then you can have the possibility of existence of open networks. And then you go to Benkler. Well, if networks exist, do they have an economic advantage over the traditional firm? And he comes up with these two interesting points, which is information opportunity cost. Okay, networks are better grabbing information and bringing it into a development process than firms. And another advantage of these networks over traditional firms is allocation efficiency. That networks are better doing that. So according to Benkler, if we look at cost of transaction theory, networks are possible. According to Benkler, they're not just possible, they can actually be more efficient than traditional firms.